Good day, dear children. You all are welcome to the social class. In this class, you are going to see the second phase of the freedom struggle. Lesson number 10 in past and present. The topic of the lesson is India's freedom struggle. The second phase we are going to see. Here, in the period of 1914 to 1918, that is the period of the First World War in the world, that is very helpful to strengthen the freedom struggle. Here in the year 1916, the Home Rule movement was started by Annie Besant and Bal Gangadhar Tilak. They have launched that Home Rule movement in India in the year 1916, and the objectives of this Home Rule movement was the movement aimed at the attainment at home rule or self-government within the British Empire. It also aspired to educate and organize public opinion in the country towards the attainment of self-government. The popularity of the Home Rule movement led the British government to introduce a number of repressive measures. Then, in the year 1916, on Lucknow session, there is two important developments took place in this session. What are the two important developments? We can see that one. The early nationalists and the assertive nationalists were reunited after 9 years. The Congress and the Muslim League signed the Lucknow Pact and joined hands to fight for self-rule. After that, we can say about Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi is entering into this freedom struggle in the year 19 after in the 19th century. You see this Mahatma Gandhi born on the 2nd October of 1869. So we are celebrating the 2nd October as a Gandhi Jayanti. Then he went to that Africa, and there he faced some problems because of that white people, and after he came back to India, and he followed that satyagraha, that he followed through the non-violence movements, and these are the struggles against the British government. Here, Gandhi's social ideologies strengthened his political activities. He is a lawyer. He is a poor lawyer. He is called as a poor lawyer, a small lawyer he is. But he was a lawyer, but he called people of the so-called lower caste, Harijans, are God's children. That lower caste people, in the name of caste, that people was marked as the poor people, like that. No, there is no respect to the low caste people, but that people was called by Gandhiji by Harijans, and the Harijans means the God's children, the children of God. Here Gandhiji worked for the crafts. When we are going to see about this Gandhi's works, means the handicrafts, that wheel and that all, no, we can see that one. Then in the year 1918, Gandhiji led a work here. The early campaigns of the Gandhiji, we can see the first movement in which Gandhi got involved was in Champaran in Bihar in 1917, and here peasants on the indigo plantations were forced to sell indigo at very low prices fixed by the European planters. Gandhiji protested against this and forced the government to increase the price at which the planters bought indigo from the cultivators. And in the year 1918, Gandhiji led workers of the textile mill in Ahmedabad because against to the mill owners, that ultimately the mill owners relented and raised the wages of the workers. Gandhiji also involved himself with the peasants of Kaira, that Keda, in Gujarat. His agitation forced the British government to suspend tax collection because the crops had failed that year. By 1919, Gandhiji had become the most popular leader in India. You see that already in 5th standard you have learned about this one. The peasants, that farmers, no, they are asked to produce that indigo and cotton, because they are in the for British company, that indigo and that cotton is very needable raw material, and that that peasants, no, they forced to pay the high tax, and they have forced to pay the tax at the time of famine and all. Also there is no production means also they need to pay the tax, like that the tax was forced to pay, that is against to the peasants. Then because of these movements, the movements of Gandhiji initiated some activities, such as peaceful demonstration, boycott of courts and educational institutions, peaceful defiance of law, peaceful non-payment of taxes, and picketing of shops selling foreign goods. Then in the year 1914, one reform is introduced, that is called as Montag-Chelmsford reforms. In this and in the year 1919, the government passed a Rowlatt Act. In the year 1919, April 6, this was observed as the National Humiliation Day, that April 6th, no? The countrywide protest was organized on 6th April 1919, and this was observed as the National Humiliation Day. Then Jallianwala Bagh Massacre, the year 1919, most of the people gathered in a place of Jallianwala Bagh, that is in Punjab. In this they are under the order of General Votaya. They are the commander. He was General Tyre. Now he came to that park and commanded to the soldiers to shoot on the crowd. In it, hundreds of people were killed and thousands of people were injured. Because of this is very nowadays that Jallianwala Bagh, that is there are some emblems of there, how they have shooted and all. You turn the page number 110, the images are there. And the Khilafat movement happened in the year 1920. The non-cooperation movement in the year 1920 from 1920 to 1922. This non-cooperation movement started in the year 1920, that ended in the year 1922. This Khilafat movement was organized by the Ali brothers, Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali, in protest against the injustice done to Turkey. And you see in this non-cooperation movement, no, that is started in Gandhiji, and the name to that movement is Kaisar-i-Hind. This was followed by the boycott of schools, colleges, legislatures, law courts, and elections. The constructive program of this non-cooperation movement: popularization of Charka and Khadi, promotion of Hindu-Muslim unity, abolition of untouchability, and spread of education. Here, on the basis of this boycott movement, no, boycott and Swadeshi movement. Through this, they are telling that avoid the foreign clothes, foreign things. That is, bonfire of foreign clothes. There, Mahatma Gandhi and Lokmanya Tilak. Lokmanya Tilak is the famous freedom fighter. In the year 1922, one civil disobedience movement was started. That is from 1922 to 1930. Here, a group of people cooperated into this one. Here, before that, this Congress was divided into two groups. One group is led by C.R. Das, Motilal Nehru, and Vlll Patel. They wanted to end the boycott of the Legislative Council. because they have believed that the Congress continued to boycott the elections. Here, they have focused upon the removal of untouchability, promotion of Hindu-Muslim unity, spread of Khadi, the mobilization of the peasants. Here, in the year 1928, Vallabhbhai Patel organized the Bardoli Satyagraha to protest against the increase in the taxes, because the tax will affect the peasants. So that Patel started that Bardoli Satyagraha. Then the revolutionary movements, the second phase. Here we can see the revolutionary movements of the second phase of the revolutionary movements. In the year 1924, the revolutionary leaders formed the Hindustan Republican Association, shortly that is called as HRA. Here, on 8th April 1929, Bhagat Singh and Buddhakeshwar Dutt threw the bomb in the Central Legislative Assembly. Simon Commission came to India in the year 1927. In this time, for this Simon Commission, the people demonstrated against that Simon Commission. Go back, Simon Commission. The black flag they have hoisted against this Simon Commission. Why? Because there is no any one member from India in this commission. All members of the commission were Englishmen, and the government refused to accept the demand of the self-government. These are the main reason for that go back Simon Commission, that one. Then Purna Swaraj resolution. In the year 1928, the Congress passed a resolution demanding that dominion status. That is meant by Purna Swaraj. Then in the year 1929, December, the Congress held its annual session at Lahore. Jawaharlal Nehru was the president of this session. In it, the Congress declared that Purna Swaraj. In the year 1930, again that civil disobedience movement was started. From 1930 to 1934, that is held that civil disobedience movement. First action of this civil disobedience movement was called as the Dandi March. Dandi March is under the leadership of Gandhiji. He told that I want to wield sympathy in this battle of right against this might. Because in Gujarat, that is near to Gujarat, in this one, Mahatma Gandhi told where the people, those who are living near that sea coast, means they will produce and sell the salt, but the Indians are not allowed to produce the salt. So Gandhiji take a march to Dandi, and he with some of people he marched to Dandi, and he abolished that, he broke that law, because making salt, he took a hand of he prepared he took the salt in Dandi. Then the first roundtable conference held in the year 1930. Then that Gandhi Irvin Pact came to the year signed in the year 1931, and the second roundtable conference was happened in the year 1931. That second roundtable conference held at London. Gandhi went for this conference. Then that first roundtable conference also held in London and discussed the reforms proposed by the Simon Commission. Then you see resumption of the movement. After Gandhiji's return to India, Gandhi went to London for the second roundtable conference. Then Gandhi came to India. The Congress resumed the civil disobedience movements. Then civil disobedience movements to Quit India movement. Then after that civil disobedience movement was ended, no. Then that Quit India movement started in the 1934. Up to that 1942, that Quit India movement was launched. That Government of India Act of 1934. Here some main features are there. India was to become federation if more than half of the princely states decided to join it. Then provincial autonomy was granted. Diarchy was abolished at the provincial level. Here you see the forward block. In the year 1939, Subhash Chandra Bose resigned from the Congress on account of differences with Gandhiji, and he formed a new party that is called as Forward Bloc. That Forward Bloc named that is started by Subhash Chandra Bose, and that is started in the year 1939. The objectives of this Forward Bloc: immediate liberation of India from Britain, establish socialism in the country and abolish the zamindari system, recognition of agriculture and industry along socialist lines, introducing of a new monetary system. Then that Quit India movement 1949, the 42. You see, in the year 1914, the First World War started and ended in the year 1919, and the Second World War started in the year 1939 and it is ended in the year 1942. In this time, in India also a war between this British and Indian people. In this time, this Quit India movement also started. In March 1942, Sir Stafford Cripps came to India with some proposals. Here, in August 1942, Mahatma Gandhi launched the Quit India movement because they have proclaimed that we will give the independence after the Second World War. They have told, because of by that name our Indian people are engaged, are also involved by the British to this Second World War. You see, Gandhiji's slogan in this Quit India movement was "Do or Die, Karo ya Maro." We know the meaning for this one in Tamil also, no? Then in the year 1942, December, 6,000 people has been jailed by the British government. Azad Hind Fauj was started. That is the Indian National Army. That in the Indian National Army was formed by Subhash Chandra Bose. Totally, the Indian Independence League, that is an association that is formed by Rash Behari Bose. Here, Subhash Chandra Bose did the very good role for the independence of our India. We got the independence there 1947. In this Independence Act of 1947, Indian Independence Act have some clause of the act were as follows. We can see that Acts of India Independent Act. Two independent dominions known respectively as India and Pakistan were to be set up as from 15th August 1947. For each of the new dominions, there was to be Governor General, would be appointed by His Majesty and would represent His Majesty for the purposes of the government of the dominion. The legislature of the two dominions would have full power to make laws for their respective dominions. With effect from 15 August 1947, His Majesty's government would cease to have any responsibility for the government of British India. Provision would be made for the division of the Indian Army between the new dominions. To prevent further killings, the Congress reluctantly agreed to the partition. At that time, it was perhaps the only option left to prevent a civil war. Thus on, and the 15th August 1947, our Indian country got the independence. The first Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru.